Welcome to the Wildcast podcast, coming to you from Wildcast Studios with your hosts Adam Lund and Jeremy Boucher.
Welcome in and welcome back to Wildcast Studios on Rogers TV for another episode of the Wildcast podcast, your unofficial voice for everything Moncton Wildcats. Presented by Alpha's Appliance Solution, the premier destination for all kitchen-made, Whirlpool, and Maytag appliances. Right now, they got the Gen Air Luxury Redefined event. Save 15% when you purchase any 2 or 3 Gen Air products. Save 20% when you purchase any 4 of qualifying Gen Air products from now till New Year's Eve. As always, fan listeners, I am your host, Adam Lund, and I am joined by, your favorite co-hoster, Mr. Stash, Mr. YQM, Mr. Jeremy Boucher. You are here, which means you survived a birthday party.
Survived the daughter's birthday party weekend.
Yeah.
Just by the hair on my...
Was chinny chin chin.
Yeah, but no longer. It's the hair on my mustache.
Yeah.
It was quite the weekend.
Do tell. How was it?
You know what? Surprisingly, it went really well.
Yeah.
She's got a great group of friends. I don't think you could ask for, a better 6 or better 7 that stayed over Saturday night, and a better, how many? I think there was 20 at her party Saturday afternoon. Yeah,
she's got more friends than you and me combined.
It was actually a lot of fun. You know what? It was probably the least stressful birthday, from a parent standpoint that she's ever had, which made things a lot easier on myself and Megan. So it was, no complaints.
So she's double digits now, right?
No, she's 9.
9. Okay, I thought she was 9 turning 10.
Yeah, next year's double digits.
Yeah.
And I told her that this morning. I was like, this is your last year of being in the single digits, and next year is going to be the double digits, and you're in the double digits forever. She's like, no, what if I turn 100? So okay, you're smart. So.
That's yeah. Well, happy birthday, Avery.
Yeah.
I know it's a little late, but what did mom and dad spoil her with?
So mom and dad
a brand new car.
Come on down. No, so last week we kind of got her something a little early. We got her a piano.
Okay.
Because she's been super interested in piano lessons and this and that, and so we found a piano that's it's pretty neat. There's like songs that there's pre-programmed songs, but if you're just a beginner, you can learn faster because the keys actually light up.
Oh, that's cool.
So it's, if let's say she's playing like Jingle Bells.
Yep.
Well, the keys will light up, so she can kind of play along with the keys as they're lit up. So that will give her, the practice to kind of do that until she's kind of memorizes it.
Okay.
And she's big into Stitch now, Lilo and Stitch. So that was kind of the big theme of her party. And so we got her basically a Stitch, Lilo and Stitch, like comforter set with pillowcases and all the other stuff. And even though we said we weren't going to do it until she was 10, we moved her bedroom downstairs.
Oh, yeah.
So she's
pretty pumped about that.
Yeah. She's got the little independence now. She's not across the hall from mommy and daddy. She's, just downstairs in her big room. And
which benefits mommy
and daddy? Well, depending which way you want to look at it, and all, it's but no, it was super good weekend. I finished half my front yard for the leaves because nobody stepped up with a vacuum leaf mulcher.
People,
come on!
Now
I'd have it done by now, but no, that's just the cheapskate side of me. But I'm definitely buying one for next year.
Have you started your flipping from Halloween to Christmas?
That's not happening until probably not
this weekend,
but the following weekend.
Okay.
Yeah.
As you can see, we took down some of the Halloween stuff. Won't decorate. I looked in the camera and thought maybe I saw some stuff. Won't decorate till December 1st for Christmas. Big December 1st guy.
You're not a November 1st. It's time.
No, I'm not a Johnny Rocket with his Mariah Carey. No. And it's partly got to do with Remembrance Day, but partly got to do with I don't want to be Christmased out.
Yeah,
I remember being a kid and you didn't really think about Christmas till December when stores had stuff, and maybe it's because I'm not always in stores as an adult now, but you were going to buy stuff in December. You were seeing stuff coming out in December. The commercials were coming out in December.
Yep.
Now they come out November 2nd, November 1st. And I'm just like, I'm done with Christmas. Now, this will be our last year. It's just the two of us, but I'm kind of done with it by now. So I try to hold that off until like the last possible second. And, I know that it's a little easier out here to put your Christmas decorations up in like middle of November-ish because it's kind of warm. But yeah, no, actually inside the studio, inside the house will be December 1st, big December 1st guy.
Yeah, for me, I don't want to, again, I'm new on the block where I live.
Yeah.
I don't want to be the first one with Christmas decorations up.
I don't want to be that guy.
Right?
Yeah.
But for me, I think the Santa Claus parade is the 23rd of November.
Yeah.
So the weekend before that will be probably when I get started because, you want to have your decorations and everything lit up for when everybody comes home from the parade. So that's kind of where I'll be.
Is that when the Santa Claus parade?
23rd of November.
That's amazing because the Wildcats won't be here.
Yeah.
They're on the road that weekend.
Yeah.
So they won't even be part of that. But yeah, I mean, that might change next year and the year after, but I did it the first 15 years with Haley. I'm not going to do it with the next one.
Yeah.
No, it's pretty simple weekend for us too. Didn't do a whole lot. I had to work on Saturday, but then Sunday took a nice little drive to Halifax.
Oh, yes. What's going on there?
There was a hockey team that was playing another hocky team.
Was it the Moncton Flyers against the Halifax McDonald's?
That's the one I went to at the Forum. I dare anyone to DM us and complain about the parking situation anymore. I parked in a parkade just off the Scotiabank side where the bus unloads. Care to venture how much that cost me?
When I was there a couple of weeks ago,
Mm-hmm.
and I'd only parked for 2 hours,
Mm-hmm.
I think it was like $15.
Yeah. We got there at 2. We left at 6. First of all, staff your parkade. For anyone that thinks we need a parkade downtown, just take a little trip ski to Halifax. Just get into Halifax parkade after an event. Absolutely not.
No.
I got to the thing. We got into the car at about 6:15, and luckily I didn't go get the car for Prego, so she didn't have to walk as much. Because she'd have still been there till like 10 p.m. I mean, I would have got it, but she said we don't have to because the side that we do the interviews is the side that our car was parked on.
Right.
Get in there at 6:15. We left the parkade at almost 10 to 7. It cost me $22
Yep.
on a Sunday evening.
Yep.
Is there not like a game rate, a Sunday rate, a weekend rate? Like if that's the weekend rate, holy
total cash grab.
Oh my goodness.
Total
and like
cash grab.
everyone was on level 4. Level 4, the green level. Nobody was moving. They got like 4 entrances for feeding into one car. Finally, some gentleman in all fluorescent comes down. He tells another car to go a different way. So I'm looking at the there's a ramp, and I'm like, well, there's a bunch of cars going that way. I think I can go. So I turn, go down there. Like, just have people working it.
Yeah.
I know that everyone's tough to staff and all that, but I mean, that's probably our last trip as a twosome. So from now on, we're going to get a hotel when we go down there. But man, I was thinking like, I was in my mind thinking like $8-10. That'd be fine. That's not bad. Scam my little ticket. I'm sorry, 22?
Yep. It's so bad. Like the people that still complain about parking downtown Moncton being bad, try to find a free parking spot on a weekend in Halifax. 0% chance unless you're literally down there at 6:00 in the morning.
Yeah.
It's absolutely.
And I was going to go, we were going to go early. Like we were going to go at like 9:30 to get down there, maybe park somewhere free, have some breakfast.
Yeah.
And that didn't work, but oh my God.
Yeah. It's very not pleasant.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. Hell's Kitchen.
Magali?
Yeah.
My goodbye.
After they nice. After they tried to send Brittany and I think Amanda up.
Yeah.
And he was just like,
not gonna happen.
What are you doing?
Not gonna happen.
Just terrible.
Yeah. Those were like 2 of the worst people to put up right now because they're both really good.
Yeah. I did like the kart racing though. That looked fun. Like that whole resort.
Karts, yeah.
That resort there, that looks like a good time and it's nice and close. We may have to take a road trip up there.
Yeah, for when the queue expands to
Connecticut,
because it is our jurisdiction.
It is, yeah, and it's getting closer to some of the other expansions. But it's again, you can see the clique starting to form in the show, and they try to keep Magali as their little clique, and Gordon wasn't having it.
They want their pawn so they can have their. Well, it's like Big Brother. Magali would be like a pawn.
Yeah,
where they just keep her around even though she's terrible.
Yeah.
And
knowing that if they keep her at some point, they can just expend.
It's not going to happen with when Gordon Ramsay's watching over you.
No, absolutely not. So for all of you watching on the YouTubes and on the Rogers TV, it is Movember.
Mm-hmm.
We have our get the handlebars going, the beautiful stashes going, and by I have beautiful, my wife does not think the same thing. So we'll see what my work thinks about it too. I wasn't sure if we were doing it, so I had the beard for the first couple games, and then you came over with the Movember stash. And so if you do donate, we don't have anything up for Movember, but if you are going to donate and you want to donate in honor of us, we'd be happy with that as well. We've got our poppies on for Remembrance Day. So don't forget, as always, you can follow us on the social medias, Moncton Wildcast, Instagram Wildcast Podcast, TikTok Wildcast Podcast, and as well here on the YouTube. Don't forget to like and smash that subscribe button so you let us know that you like what we're doing. And you don't want to miss any podcast post-game content. Make sure to click the bell so you don't miss any of that. I got a fun little quick question for you, Jeremy.
Oh, you actually didn't let me know about this one.
I know. Who gets their license first, Megan or Avery?
Speaking of that.
we got breaking news?
So Megan's birthday is on Thursday.
Oh, happy birthday tomorrow, Megan.
And her driver's test is also on Thursday. What? So we could have Megan with a license by lunchtime on Thursday. But the funny part is, you think I could find, or she could find, a road test anywhere is in southeastern New Brunswick?
No, probably not.
So guess where we have to drive to, Adam, on Thursday morning for her to do a driver's test?
Caracat, New Brunswick.
Well, not that far.
Okay.
Doketown.
Oh, wow.
I was like,
nothing around.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Wow. Nothing in Moncton, Sussex, Sackville, Shediac, Bucktooth, you name it. Jeez. Nothing in this area of New Brunswick. But I told Megan, I was like, if there was a place where you could absolutely not mess up a driver's test, it's Doketown. I said there's a school zone. Yeah. As long as you go 30 through the school zone, you're good.
Yeah. I remember when I was taking my driver's test in little old Hannah, Alberta, as flat as the eye can see, as Chad from Nickelback calls it. It's a dog for miles town where you can see your dog run away for miles. I had to go take it in Castor, Alberta. Yeah, it's about 40 minutes from Hannah. It's got like 3 hills in it. So I hadn't practiced any type of hill parking at all. Because where am I going to? I mean, I know you can practice on a plane, but I'm like, maybe once, I guess, I practice it. First thing we do, leave the place, take a right, take a left. All right, parallel park on this hill.
Nope.
Missed it the first time, got it the second time. But yeah, it's just like those little small towns that get you.
Yeah. Well, that's some breaking news. So
yeah, well, that's exciting. I'm pumped. We're gonna have some major news. Next week.
Possibly.
And speaking of news, why don't we look at some news from around the league?
Excellent.
News and notes from around the queue.
All right, news and notes presented by Integrity Lawn Care. The leaves are still continuing to fall, although it was quite frosty this morning. Oh,
they're still falling.
They're still falling. And if you don't want to do it, you know who does want to do it? Integrity Lawn Care. They want to get you ready for the winter. Check them out on Instagram. Give them a call at 506-866-8218 or email them at integritylawncare@hotmail.com. You know what we don't always talk about, Jeremy? We don't always talk about officials in a good way.
Oh,
yeah.
Somebody was like 1,000 games. Or
Yeah.
something? Yeah.
Linesman Sylvain Lozier worked his 1,000th game in the queue as the linesman in the regular season for Victoriaville and the Armada. He's had some highlights. He worked the 2000-2001 All-Star game, the Molson Center, the Q All-Star game.
Oof.
Yeah.
Going back some days.
He's worked 7 Memorial Cups, the 03 Quebec City, the 06 here, 09 in Rimouski, 15 in Quebec City, Regina in 2018 that screwed all this up, Halifax in 2019, and St. John in 2022. And he's worked in international events, the World Senior Championship in, take a shot in the dark where that was in 2005, the World Senior Championship. Guess which country?
Kazakhstan.
Mexico.
Nice.
Yeah, not a place you think would have a senior men's hockey championship. World Junior Championship in 06 in Vancouver, 07 and 08. Senior Championships in Russia in 07, Halifax and Quebec City in 08. World Juniors in 09, the Olympic Games in 2010.
Okay,
in
we
Vancouver.
get it.
Like, holy, like this guy is a decorated official.
Nice resume.
Yeah. So congratulations to. I was like, why are they like 1,000 games? Yeah, that dude's worked some games and some high profile games. So if you get him in the finals, you're doing a good thing. Isaiah Shantz was the Scholastic Player of the Month for Moncton.
Nerd.
Oh, it gets me every time. We had Q Players of the Month. Get to that here. Come on. Zoom a little quicker as I go through this. Forward of the month was for September and October. It's kind of maybe why I'll get to it in a minute. Cat Ford, 12 games, 8 goals, 17 assists for 25 points. He was the forward of the month. Honorable mention to Jonathan Fauchon of the Armada, 14 goals and 10 assists in 14 games. Nate Tivy, who was on your team of the week last week, 15 games played, 3 goals, 16 assists. Then you had Ty Higgins from the Huskies, 8 goals and 10 assists in 15 games. Goaltender of the month was Riley Mercer. No surprise, 9-2 with a 191 goals against average and a 945 save percentage. The honorable mention, and this is what caught me a little off guard, but then I noticed that it was September and October. Josh Fleming from Bathurst was 9-3, 229 and a 927. I was like, wait, our guy was pretty good in October, but he didn't have the best September to start. Like the team didn't either. So that's kind of what got him there. So rookie of the month. No surprise. Lars Steiner, the Huskies. Is it Steiner or Steiner? Have we figured it out yet?
I think Steiner.
Is it Steiner? All right. 8 goals, 16 assists, 24 points in the 15 games to start his Q career. And Lucas Beckman of Bacomo, 9-3 with 249 goals against average and a 914 save percentage. That brings us to the Q team of the week as I bring it up. Some nice names on there.
Look at that.
That's a fancy name. We got Caleb Denway. Getting to the team of the week there.
You can get all these. I think you can get the names here.
I think this is back-to-back weeks. I can get the names there. Caleb Denway, 5 goals, 3 assists in the 3 games. Mateus Milovsky from Bacomo, 2 goals, 5 assists in 2 games. Justin Poirier, 6 goals, 2 assists in the 2 games. Jordan Torgany from Shawinigan, 3 goals, 4 assists in 2 games. Ty Higgins, 2 goals, 2 assists in the 3 games. And Vincent Gladeau from the Armada.
You messed that. It's Gladeau. Oh, you messed up.
So close. 2-0, a 971 save percentage, and a 1 goals against average. And the player of the week was Justin Poirier. Thought maybe it was going to be Caleb, but Poirier had another 4-goal game.
He's heating up.
He's heating up just at the right time. And now let's get to the Boucher team of the week.
Yeah, that's what everybody's waiting for.
Yes.
So my team of the week
regular ones. They're waiting for yours.
Got a bit of a maritime feel to it.
Yeah.
So all my bias is showing a little bit. For those who like to say you have a maritime bias. First up is our own Marcus Vidicek, for the reason we pointed out on Twitter.
Yep.
And excellent fact-checking job by yourself, Adam.
Thank you.
With his goal against Halifax on Sunday, he has scored against every team in the queue. That's pretty damn good.
I honestly thought when I was fact-checking that it was Rennes and Val-d'Or, one of those weird schedules, because you go back and it was during COVID. So they only played Charlottetown, and I think they played Val-d'Or once before kind of everything shut down the second time. And I was like, oh, it's going to be one of those weird Val-d'Or Rennes, but no, he got them all.
Second forward is my rookie of the year pick, Matt Gradine, who registered his first career hat trick on Sunday against Rimouski. All 3 goals on the power play.
Nice.
And my third forward will also tie in to my first defenseman. So going with Braden McPhee and Dylan MacKinnon for their spirited friendship fight on Sunday in Halifax.
Yeah.
That was clearly...
It was a good one.
It was a good one. Yeah, two local boys going at it. And my second D is Mateo Mann for his game-winning goal in back-to-back games.
In overtime.
Yeah. Game-winning goals. Last Sunday against Gatineau, and of course Halloween against us. Yeah. And then goaltender, Jacob Steinman, who is now has the league best goals against average of 1.96 amongst all goaltenders who have played more than 5 games.
Look at that.
Because that Gladue kid has like a 1.95.
Yeah.
And he's only played 5 games.
Yes.
So, so Simon still below a 2.00 goals against, 14 games into the season.
It's not bad.
So, there you go. So there's my my team of the week. If you don't like it, we'll do it again next week.
You ready to get some guests? We got a jam-packed show. We got 2 guests. I think it's time for a guest.
Let's do it. Let's start her off.
Let's get to that.
View from the other bench.
I guess it's not view from the other bench. It's view from our bench.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We don't have 2 things. We only have 1. But again, this is a huge pleasure and something we're hoping to do more of. We did it a couple of years ago, but we were pleased to be joined by one of our off-season acquisitions, and just goes with a theme. Last week we had Jacob Gucci, a right shot defenseman from the Moncton Flyers. This week we got another Flyer system right shot big defenseman. Number 3 from your Moncton Wildcats, Dylan MacKinnon. Dylan, how are you?
Not too bad. Thanks for having me, guys.
No, thanks for joining us. How's the hand?
Oh, it's not too bad.
I guess the first question for me, and I talked to Vidicek last night, and this is kind of why I separated this. You made your return to the Scotiabank Center to face your old team, where you had so many great moments, so many great memories. Just, I guess, talk about the emotions of going back to the Scotiabank Center. Was it just like another regular season game, or was there a little bit of more emotion to that one?
Yeah, I was kind of approaching it like every other season game, but obviously that's in the back of your mind no matter what, for my routine and stuff, right? So, no, it's definitely weird, that's for sure. But, it's going to be back in the old barn and, just get that atmosphere again and, see so many familiar faces and just talk to that fan base over there. There's some good folks over there. So it's nice to catch up with all of them. And, it was a good game. Plus, Cats got the win, right? So it was all right.
Absolutely. And was it kind of weird to go out second? I know you usually come out halfway through the lineup, when like you and Marcus led the group. Was that a little bit different for you?
No. I think we usually come out together. He one, I go 2. Sometimes you're right, Pekarik will come out 3rd, but kind of all over the map. So
I talked to Preston last night in our post-game show. It was a tense game for fans. The groups that made it up there and us watching it. But it felt like after you started chucking knuckles with McPhee, that kind of sparked your team. And, we're not saying that that's what you're looking for. But that's part of your game. And do you feel like that kind of got the guys energized as they rattled off 4 goals, I think 4 minutes after you guys started chucking knuckles?
Yeah. I think quite a few of those guys wanted to see me go in a Cats uniform. they were eager for it.
We did.
No, so they were eager for that, and even afterwards, all of them were like, "Oh my god, that was awesome!" And obviously Braden McPhee, he's from Moncton, and like we're good buddies off ice, that's for sure. But like that's his role, is to be that kind of Brad Marchand comparison on the ice. So he's obviously in everyone's face and stuff. So I think it was a little bit of a relief that he was done for the game after and give the boys a breather. But no, I think. I think it did spark our team for sure. Definitely didn't spark the Moose. So,
I think we all know why you wanted to leave that game early. You're familiar with the hot showers there at that rink, so you want you wanted the first one. But no, just I guess looking back at the trade, draft day weekend and all that. I guess when did you find out about that? And I know you're pretty pumped about come back home, but just your initial feelings on the deal.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of been up in the air for a few years now. Just my 19 year coming here because my 18 year we were supposed to have a good run in Halifax, and we were fortunate enough to have a great run my 17 year. But no, it's kind of been up in the air for a while now, and just for it to finally happen, it's cool. Hopefully, it's my last year in junior, right? So it's nice to finish it off at home, and yeah, it's been unbelievable since I've been here. The staff, media, everyone's awesome. Like everyone's just been more than welcoming. So it's nice.
All right. I thought you got another one.
No,
speaking of your, hoping this is your last year in junior, you're taken third overall by Nashville. Just talk about going to that camp, and you play a lot with LaRue, and he was drafted to Nashville, obviously. So playing, kind of having somebody you kind of know there, but talk about your camp at Nashville and just kind of how they've been with you kind of during the season and keeping in your ear.
Right. Yeah, no, they're actually pretty quiet throughout the year. They kind of just let you do your own thing, and they want to see progression and stuff. Obviously they reach out every now and again and say, hey, like try and do this here, and all that same stuff. But no, it's great. Obviously, like you said, LaRue was there, and he's a really good friend of mine. So just to have him there and a couple other guys I've been fortunate enough to play with at the under 18s and Hockey Canada events with. So it's awesome. It's obviously where you want to be at the end of the day, but it's more than enough motivation to keep striving to get there, right? So
yeah. Oh, next weekend's the Moncton. I know you played there, and I think it was bantam, but correct me if I'm wrong. I think your midget tournament was canceled from the pandemic, if I'm not mistaken. Is that we can look back? Yeah, that's what I thought. But yeah, just I guess we're gonna be previewing that on next week's show. But from someone who played in the tournament, just your memories of that, and any advice you have for some of the young guys coming up with the system that will be getting looked upon by the scouts.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, at the end of the day, it's hockey, right? So have fun. I mean, it's you can't get too wrapped up in all that and all the rankings and all that stuff. At the end of the day, you just go out there and do your job. You're gonna get noticed, right? So I feel like that'd be my biggest thing. Just don't have that weighted blanket on you for no reason. Just having that hang over your head all the time. Just go out and do what you can do, and good things will come, right? So it's just that. And yeah, no, obviously the Monktonian being in my hometown, it was great, and getting to experience some of the other guys and other players, top players from the other leagues around that you hear all this hype about and stuff. Like I remember playing Tyler Peddle back in the day, and that was a good battle. But me and him are great friends now too because of that stuff, right? So you never know further on down the road who you're gonna really catch up again, and that's just an excuse to bond with one another over those kind of tournaments, right? So
I guess last one for me, we kind of talked about it with Gucci, who's getting on his first long road trip from Val-d'Or to Moncton on that road trip. And I guess just kind of peel back the curtain a little bit for some of our fans. What's a game day like for Dylan MacKinnon? What's it like on the road trips? Are you a iPad guy? Are you a cards guy? Are you, I'm going to sleep, don't wake me, leave me alone till we get there, like I am on road trips? And what's your game day? Are you a little superstitious, super superstitious? Like what is the Dylan MacKinnon game day like?
Yeah, I'm my routine, I'll put my AirPods and I won't talk to anyone. So I'll play sewer with the guys and all that and hang around, but it's just I don't say a word, I don't do anything. So I just gotta have a coffee, gotta have a large coffee. That's for sure. Gotta have that. I have the same supplements, same 5 water bottles of supplements every day. Then just like little things like I have a yoga ball or whatever. I'll bounce it 10 times, and if I don't get it, I gotta go until I get 10. Just all that stuff, right? Just weird stuff. I always put the left side of my gear on first, and nothing out of the ordinary for hockey players these days. But
I was gonna say when I used to play not to this level, I would put one skate on, then the other skate, one pad on, then the other pad, and just I figured that was probably you had some little superstitions that you had.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, and being from Review, I know you came up with a partnership there with Five Bridges. $50 still give to Review Minor Hockey with every point you got on the board. I guess how that come about, and was it pretty much a no-brainer to give back to your community?
Yeah, absolutely. It's came from Riverview Minor Hockey, so it'd be nice to give a little back. And Rob reached out with the idea actually, and he was like, "Listen, like I'd love to do this, whatever. Like, cool with you?" I was like, "Absolutely, like sounds good." I was like, "Maybe we should do hits or something." I was like, "I don't know about the points, but at the end of the day, he was like, yeah, we'll figure it out if it's not a great year for points." I go, "Absolutely, sounds good." So.
All right. Well, as you're moving your arm, everyone can kind of see your tattoos. You're one of the tattooed guys, and I'm getting one for my daughter here when she's born. So my wife wants to know, where should I go get my next tattoo? Where would you suggest?
Hanging Rose Tattoo.
Hanging Rose Tattoo. All right.
Right next to Avenir.
Right next to Avenir. That's pretty convenient.
I know. Right after school, go over there.
How many guys have you brought there? So far?
I get asked all the time, especially by Pekarik as well. Actually,
yeah.
If you want to get, but I was like, man, just book it yourself. Just like, I'm a secretary, right? So
there you go.
Perfect, man. Well, we really appreciate you doing this, and hopefully, your next tattoo that you get at Hanging Rose will be a nice certain trophy at the end of May. You can add that to your collection, man. We really appreciate you taking the time to join us.
Absolutely. Thanks for the time, guys. Appreciate it.
It's nice for Dylan to join us, but we're not done.
No, one more.
We're not done. We went from something that we haven't done in a while to something that's becoming a bit of an annual thing, and that's never a bad thing. And that's why you love playoff rivalries. We like to expand into the Quebec markets, and that's what playoff series will do. We are pleased to have back contributor to Journal Le Maniac, covering the Quebec the Drakkar, Louis-William Gagne. Mr. Gagne, how are you on this first week of November?
Oh, I'm very well, thank you. How about you?
Oh, we're doing well. It's getting a little chillier, but that's to expected. I guess the first one back for me. I mean, looking back to last season, the group maybe was a year ahead, but maybe not, depending what market you're in. But you kind of pushed some of the chips in, got to the league final, and now you've jumped out to an 11-5 record on the back of Beckman. So just talk about this turnaround from last year to this year.
We've been expecting this year a transition season, if we can say so. I know the organization didn't want to talk about it, and they did not really want to say it's a transition year, but they've been kind of forced to do so because this team lost a whole lot of veterans that they did not replace by any other or players that could take the same amount of work that these guys were doing. I'm talking about players like Justin Gill, Isaac Dufour, Felix Gagnon, who's been traded to Chicoutimi. Players like that were not replaced. Some of them were, but still, there is the last year's 17-year-old core of Justin Poirier, Raoul Willard, Alexis Bernier. Those guys are all there again this season, so they still have a part of this core, but they lost a whole bunch of it. So we still expect a good or a team who can compete against anybody in the queue, but still not as good as what it was last year. And we think that they might be going in at it again next season to take the most out of those three guys I mentioned before, who are going to be 19 next season.
Yeah, and that kind of leads me into I think when we chatted last year, I think I asked you about what direction you wanted to see the team go this year, and I think you might have said you wanted them to retool or maybe sell off some pieces this season. Like, given the start to the campaign, are you kind of on the same thing, or do you want to see them maybe buy in a month and a half here at the trade deadline?
Well, I don't think they're gonna buy because they just well, if they do, they will have to be creative. If they're gonna buy for this year, I think we're talking of a what we call in Quebec. I don't know if you guys call them that way, but a slingshot trade. You know, getting somebody else from another team, but promising another player for the following season. If they want to buy this year, I think we're talking about that for next season. Other than that,
regular trades.
yeah, these days they're quite common. I gotta say,
Yeah,
it's true,
especially in the queue.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So like you're kind of looking like, let's say you have like an 05, like a 19-year-old that think that let's say one of the contenders want, but you guys are going to want like let's say an 06 back, the player that will be back next kind of next season that will help with your Poiriers and your Berniers and your Mollards.
Mm-hmm. So I guess this is what they've been looking for. By trading Felix Gagnon, they got Jeremy Leroux, who's a former first rounder, 2006 as well. So same age as those other guys. If they want to buy this season, I think they will have to, promise one of those guys for next year. But if they stick to the idea of going at it in 2 years, maybe they'll try to get other players who are going to be 19 next year or maybe 18. But I don't know how this is. They will have to be creative, because if you look at just the amount of picks they don't have much, especially for the first 2 rounds. So if you want to buy something with a average or good value, you will have to get rid of a lot of them. So I guess we'll see more of those trades in the summer, maybe at the next draft. What I first thought was going to happen is that they're going to trade what they can that have value, that can push them forward for next year. But as I look at it right now, they don't seem to have so much value that they can trade to another contender team now. Because, okay, for example, Matthias Milovsky, who's not coming back, he's not coming back next year because he's a 20-year-old. But if you want to trade him to a contender team, you need to have somebody who's willing to take, one, an overager, and second, an import. Mm-hmm. So if maybe there's one team who would be willing to acquire him, then what would you get? The answer, probably not so much, because you cannot have any raise or on the prices. There are no bids on it because just one team would want him.
Right.
And you would not get the real value of what a player like him can get. If I get to Baie-Comeau fans, remember when in 2012, Baie-Comeau got an overager import player, Peter Straka. I don't know if you remember him. He was playing for Rimouski for a while. Then he came to Baie-Comeau as an overager, and they paid like, I don't know, a third and a sixth or a fourth and a sixth from him, and he got 40 goals and 40 assists in the season. And we knew that it was an absolute bargain, but nobody could take him at this time of the season except Baie-Comeau, who had lost one of their imports. So you have to have a specific situation. So maybe the player on the team who would have the highest value would be Milovsky, considering he will not be there next year. But what are you going to get for him? Probably not so much. So what is the worth of it? What would you do with it then if you don't want to trade him, if you want to trade him away and you will not get any tools or not so good tools to get better next season? So what's the point of doing it?
Yeah, 100%. That's the thing with the Euros, is they're such a limited market as well. 20s, we're seeing the prices aren't there. Like OJ just went for a fifth. The prices aren't quite there for the 20-year-olds. We usually like to have a maritime roundtable with some media friends come up on the trade period in December. We're thinking of doing one into Quebec, so we want you to put your little GM hat on. And in this conference, I mean, man, it's a tough conference. I mean, Baie-Comeau's got a good team, and they're stuck with Chicoutimi, Rimouski. Moncton's going kind of all in, and you've got Cape Breton, you've got Bathurst. I guess just other than your own team, what team out of Quebec intrigues you the most? Is it the Volts maybe adding to kind of open their window for 2 years? Is it Rimouski, who we know we're going to probably have to make a bunch of moves. Maybe a team in your division like Chicoutimi. What do you see as, what intrigues you with this trade deadline coming up?
Well, I was having the same conversation with friends a few days ago, and the most mysterious one for me is the Volts, because considering, well, they won last season, players who are back now but won't be coming back next season, considering their pool of draft picks for the following seasons. What are they going to do? Well, everybody thought, well, they're going to sell everyone they can. Ethan Gauthier and I don't know, Mercer, or everyone's going to go.
Yeah.
But now they've been playing so well. What are you going to do? Yeah. I don't think they really can buy again, because they're in the same situation as Bécomo now. They don't have a lot of picks to buy something. Maybe one player. Maybe. I
think if they buy it, it's depth. It's that third and fourth line pieces depth, because I think it was Pat McNeil that said he heard someone say Drummondville's really good if you turn the line changes off. Right? Like they got kind of one teams. It's kind of what he heard. So maybe they're able to go get some depth at lower prices once all the high bidding is done.
Oh yeah, and basically I could say the same about Bécomo. If you play like an NHL 94 game and you turn off the line changes, then it's one of the best teams of the league. But it's the problem there. And about Drummondville again, the issue now, if I compare to what I was saying earlier about Bécomo, about if they want to buy this year, maybe they would have to promise some players for the following season. Drummondville, they can't do that because Mercer is a 20-year-old and Gauthier is not coming back next season. No chance. And so if they want to go for it this season, think about it, because this rebuild is going to take a whole lot of time. And so for me, Drummondville is the most mysterious one. What are you going to do? Because you're in place to be at it again. So it takes some guts to say, you know what, we're in good position, but let's get rid of everybody. It's a tough one.
It's. I mean, they're off to a crazy start.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter what you give up if you're putting banners up, right? So, and out of that conference, they get to they could get to the final depending who they get in the third round. Right? They could easily at least get to the final four in their conference.
Yeah. Oh, that's
easily.
Yeah, that's
you're never. Every game has to be played on the ice for sure. But on paper, if we take it as it is right now, it might be a walk in the park, at least to semifinals for Drummondville. At least
100%.
Yeah, and that's pretty obvious. I mean, the Western it seems like every year it's a different conference.
It alternates.
Right? Drummondville's just benefiting from all their players, coming back. If you look at some of their guys, like Gauthier and Baudry, Rotondi and Brunet, those are, if they go and sell off, they're making bank.
Yeah.
Like which teams do you think would be? I mean, where do you think a Gauthier would fit in? Where do you think a Brunet would fit in? Where do you think a Baudry would fit in?
Well, Gauthier probably the obvious answer would be Rimouski if they have what it takes to pay for him. Imagine having Gauthier and Catafor on the same team.
Yeah.
That would be extraordinary for them.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know where they're going to be at that time. Cape Breton might be a good fit for Gauthier again.
Yeah.
Other than that, I guess the three teams I see buying the most, definitely Rimouski, Moncton, and again, depending on where they are, but Cape Breton. Probably those three will take what has the biggest value on the market. Probably. I don't see Chicoutimi. They have the luxury to wait.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because their core is younger than these other three. So they have the luxury to wait. And we know that when the Memorial Cup is in the queue, we have even bigger prices than usual because two teams are going for it.
Yeah.
So if I was Yannick Jean, maybe if you have something that you think is worth it, you go for it. And if that player is going to be there next year, you go for it. But they have the luxury to wait. Yeah. So I think they have to be smart. Chicoutimi has to be smart. That's what I.
Yeah, they feel like they're in almost the exact same situation as last year, where they just get to play with house money while their players grow up, maybe get to round 2, maybe a surprise round 3, and they're playing with house money if they don't want to add. I guess since you're here, we should probably talk about the game this week. I mean, that's the whole reason that you're on the show. So Baie-Comeau's coming in. They hit the road trip, Cape Breton, Halifax, Moncton. A 3 and 4. They're playing some good squads in the Maritime Division. I don't want to ask if it's a measuring stick road tournament, but they're playing a very good Cape Breton team that's up on the upswing, a tough Halifax team, and then again against Moncton. Just talk about what you think they need to do to maybe come away with 5 or 6 points on this trip.
Oh yeah, this is. I don't want to say as you did. I don't want to say it's a turning point, but it's gonna speak a lot about what this team is capable of. You're going on a road for a long trip. You're facing 3 tough teams, including 2 who are supposed to be contenders. So, what you gonna do? They historically, for the last decade, they had a lot of success in Halifax. Usually in Halifax, they win. I think in the last 10 years, they lost 1 game in regulation in Halifax, something like that.
Oh, wow.
So usually they win. Cape Breton, Cape Breton, often it's 50-50, usually tight games between them. They definitely, I don't know if you guys followed that semifinals last year between them. I can't wait to see that game. The only thing I think it's sad is that they will only play each other twice during the season.
Yeah.
But seriously, if they had that meeting earlier in the season, I would have expected a lot. I would have been anxious about it. And Moncton, it's gonna be the toughest one, because if I'm not mistaken, Moncton will be the final game of that stretch.
Yeah, on Sunday.
Yeah. So you got that travel factor in the equation to count. It's also, in my opinion, the best of those 3 teams, and I don't expect so much from that game. I think if there is one game that I would be okay if they lose, is Moncton. It always depends on the way they play, but if they get beat in the third period looking tired, I wouldn't mind, personally. But I think you get to Cape Breton facing a team who you have rivalry, you have to come out strong, definitely. Halifax, it's an okay team, decent team, but still you can manage to take the 2 points out of it. So, in my opinion, if they get 500 in Maritimes, I'm cool with this.
Yeah, it's funny how back-to-back years you guys have quite the rivalries with 2 Maritime teams, and that's what playoffs do. And I'm with you. I've said a few times, I wish that we'd have less division games and a little bit more of a balanced schedule. And I understand travel, but at least in the Eastern Conference, if last year we went to Baie-Comeau twice, you came here once. This year you come here twice, we go there. If you alternate those years, you get kind of that third matchup, and it's just it would just be better for rivalries wise. But you guys got a tough month coming up. I mean, you got that stretch, and you got Drummondville twice, Chicoutimi, you got us again in Baie-Comeau. It's a tough month for you, and I think, like you said a little bit earlier, I think this month really will underline and answer some of the questions that your GM is thinking come trade period.
Absolutely. And they had an easier stretch recently. Yeah. Victoriaville's in the bottom of the standings, but let's be honest, they're not a bottom team on paper. Definitely not. Still beat them in Victoriaville, got shut out at home, unfortunately, against them the following game. They had 2 versus Gatineau, and they won both. They who they played? They played Quebec. They played Charlottetown. So easier schedule recently, but a way tougher one coming. Definitely. They played the Volts once earlier this season, and it was not a massacre. That's not what I want to say, but if we look at the numbers, they've been playing great defensively. Baie-Comeau, they're fifth in the league for shots against, with just under 28 shots against per game, and they gave up like 50 something against Drummondville.
Jeez.
Oh yeah, and when your goaltender gives up 4 goals in a game and he's still above 900 save percentage.
That's
That's
that's a good afternoon. All right, Louis. Man, thanks for joining us.
Always a pleasure.
Hopefully we can put some trade show together with you and some other members of the media in Quebec. We always like to get out and expand our show into the Quebec market. When do you think you're going to be making the trip? When do you feel like seeing the Avenir Center?
That would be great. I wish I would have been in a position 2 years ago to do it during playoffs. That would have been the best. But as you, I don't know if I ever mentioned, I'm a teacher. So during school time, it's always difficult, especially that they're always going to Maritimes during week. It's always tough. I've been to most places in Quebec, though. There's some places here and there I've never been, but I'm starting to get like in most places. Maritimes I've never been, unfortunately. Neither of them, unfortunately.
Well, when you decide to come up, you let us know. I've got an extra room. We'll save you on hotel costs there, sir. I actually looked into going up on the 23rd. I was like, oh, it can't be that far to Baie-Comeau. Yeah, it's a little bit far for a one-day Saturday game, but man, always appreciate the time, and thanks for joining us.
Oh yeah, thanks for having me.
Baie-Comeau Maritime teams is becoming a rivalry. Us 2 years ago, where we had to wait till the second half of the year. Cape Breton at least gets them in the first half, but go back to the Dylan MacKinnon interview. It's just a cool ability to do that, and he is the piece that we missed and have been missing. Is that enforcer that he's not putting up a lot of points, admittedly, but he's not here for points. And if you're watching it thinking you're going to go see a Dylan MacKinnon highlight, you're not going to see it on the scoreboard. You're going to see it on the defensive side of the game.
Yeah, and I think we haven't had a defenseman like him since Hamel, right? He's that physical, shutdown kind of guy that's not going to contribute offensively unless you're playing a series against Baie-Comeau.
Yeah.
But no, you're right. It's the type of defenseman that every team needs. Yeah. That we've just haven't had the luxury of having for a couple of years, and it's the results. Once you get down to playoff time, when you don't have a player like him on your team, it's the results show.
Yeah, and we got a couple of them, him and Johansson, and I was going to ask him about playing with Loic, but next time you go to the rink, which could be this Sunday, just when he gets on the ice and it's in the defensive zone, just watch the shift in front of the net. Just watch him. Guys, they stand in front of the net and they don't stand there for very long, and that's a lot of what we missed last season. And then obviously Mr. Gagne, great to have him on, kind of a yearly thing. We talked about maybe picking some players from Victoriaville. Yeah. Based off what he said, or are we interested in? Obviously we're interested, but is there a realistic name on that team that you feel would fit nicely in red, white, and blue?
Yeah.
I know there's like video game Adam to it, but realistically, is there a chance?
I think there is. But let's put it this way: it's if we add in the top 6, who's going down? Yeah. At this point, nobody deserves to go down. They're playing. All 6 guys are playing really well.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. If this team needs anything, it's depth. That's even a question mark. I think we need another defenseman. I think another defenseman would be nice. We need other forwards. We can't play the whole season with 12 forwards.
No.
Let's put it that way.
No.
It would be nice to get a certain player from their team. It will cost a lot. Yeah. But at the same time, his age is also a benefit because we could flip him next year.
Yeah.
So there's you've got to look at really everything and be super strategic when you do it. Because again, it's more Memorial Cup year in the queue. You're going to pay a lot more this year.
Yeah.
So you probably won't get the benefit of, I mean, you'll be able to flip them next season, but will you get the same?
What do you get for
Probably
return?
not.
Yeah. And, as I said to him, I mean, if, same with Drummondville, if you're putting up banners, it doesn't matter what the cost is. And that was what we dealt with a lot in 2020 is we had a good team. We had a good top 6. We added a top 6 player and we added a top 4 defenseman. And you know what? I think these guys understand that they have a role. And if their role helps bring championships, they're okay with it. And I think that's where we're at. And I think it's going to be a fun time. I think I think there's going to be so much trade activity.
I think it's 2 months from today is when the trade period ends.
Yeah. January 5th.
5th or 6th.
5th or 6th.
So, you got 2 months to decide and it seems like it's far away, but it's really not.
Yeah. We got
the season started
a month ago,
a month and a half ago.
Yeah. We got 4 shows and we're into trade talk shows.
Yeah. So we're close.
She's coming. All right. Let's get to let's talk about our team.
Weekly Rewind.
The remix version. I don't know what soundbite that was. All right, the Wildcats went 2-1 on the weekend in the 3-4, bringing the record to 13-2-2 for 28 points. First in the Maritimes, first in the conference. A real wrinkle to the schedule. Wildcats had 5 on the road, 1 at home, 2 back on the road. They got home Thursday. It was Halloween, and you could tell it was Halloween, not because kids were dressed up, but the Wildcats were just handing treats out left and right to the St. John Seadogs in a 3-2 loss, 0 for 4 in the power play. And I think the most frustrating part about this loss is the way they rolled through Quebec, winning 3 in a row, playing the way they could play. They come home, played probably their worst game of the season, and then the next night in against Val-d'Or, absolutely pumped them. And I said last week, the first home game is always the toughest. And I guess they thought the home game was the first one in New Brunswick because, man, that was just, as you like to say, bakery was open.
The bakery was open many times. Like there was a 2-for-1 special on turnovers. Like it was this game had me having flashbacks to last season. Like
yeah.
There were things going on in that game that I don't even never want to see again. They couldn't complete a pass. They were getting no shots on goal. They were, I was, me trick or treating.
Mad.
I was extremely upset. Like I was very upset. I don't get upset very often in games, but something about this effort really, really got to me. But then I realized it was a Thursday night.
That is true. Yeah.
So no surprise.
Holy crap. We played St. John 3 Thursdays in a row.
We do.
Oh, man. Yeah, I forgot about that Thursday. You'll never know this and you'll never see the light of day with things that we send each other. But some of the stuff he wanted to send out, he wasn't just.
Yeah, there were some things that were in the drafts on Twitter that quickly got deleted. And
just in case we ever get hacked.
Yeah. And let's just say there would have been some things said on social media Thursday night that probably would have got us banned from the Avenir Center or have our media passes revoked because this was, man, I took my dogs outside for a couple times today and the mess that they made on the grass wasn't even close to what we saw on the ice Thursday night.
Yeah, no, it was, if you remember a couple times last year, we come on and after a beat down and just throw the tape away. That was the game. You throw the tape away. And this is not a shot at St. John. Like they're a good team. They're a scrappy team.
It was a complete opposite. Whereas St. John played like they were the number 1 team in the country. The Wildcats played like they were the rebuilding team.
Yeah.
It was just,
But I mean, they were led by their young guys. Yared had 2 goals. Rossi had an assist. Moran had an assist. Gravel, I mean, they went and got a goaltender so that they could make mistakes and learn, and he's paying dividends. So it's not a shot at St. John. It's just like they're a good team. They're a scrappy team. They're going to be trouble for Moncton all year, and they've kind of proved that, Bathurst can go toe-to-toe with us. St. John feels like that team that's going to needle us in the side and just be a pain in our ass all year.
They're going to work their tails off until the final whistle, and we saw it here, when a 6-1 lead almost slipped away.
Yeah.
And it's almost as like they didn't learn their lesson from that game.
Yep, 100%. Saturday, they responded in a big way, taking advantage of a goaltender getting his first start in the queue. To be honest, this game should have ended 7-1. I'm not going to give Warren a pass, but I think one of the goals was tipped. Maybe the screen, but you have to shut the door when you're facing 4 shots in the second period. That goal in the second period, and I don't know if he was screened. I couldn't tell from the booth. You were watching it on TV. They outshot him 42-19.
4 goals against on 19 shots.
Yeah, I can't have it.
Not tremendous.
No.
Not a tremendous.
Now the Veilleux goal, he went between Sump and Forte John Durant toe drag that one. That was a nice goal. I think the Burrell one, the last one, went off Moran because he threw his head back like he had tipped it by accident.
Warren was going this way and the puck went that way.
Yeah. But again, it's partly the goalie's got to make the saves, partly the team. Yes, you were up 7-1, but you got to lock it down. The score should have been 7-1, and I don't want to take away from Denway's 5 points or Lounsbury's 150th game, which if you watch the post game, he didn't even know he was at. But yeah, they responded in a big way against Valdor.
Yeah, and that Barry kid, that's a guy. That's a guy.
100%.
That's a guy.
Yeah, I looked at the preview and I looked at him being the leading scorer, and I'm like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go ahead and write his name
I
down.
remember when it was his draft year and we were talking about players who I'd want to see on the team. And I remember what I said about him. I said, I've never seen a hockey player smile so much other than Jacob Belche.
Yeah.
This guy loves hockey. He's a leader. He would be a perfect depth guy.
You said that about someone a year and a half ago too. That'd be a real good prospect in a Wildcats uniform. Sean Carey. You said the same thing about Carey.
Yeah, I did say that.
Yeah.
Yep. I did say that.
He's proven it because Halifax is missing him.
Yeah.
But yeah, Burrell
Nathan Barry would be
Barry.
I don't know, whatever it is, but man, like what a pickup. He would be kind of like your.
We got a list here. We got.
We're gonna have a list. Yeah. We're gonna be walking up to Taylor McDougall here in about a month and be like, all right, here's your top 10. You bring us 4, we're happy.
Yeah. I was actually gonna, if I had the ability, I was gonna say, zoom in here, camera. Taylor, this is what we'd like. We would like to come to your office one evening, and we would like to give you our plan for the Christmas trade period. Yeah. You be the other GMs. You be the devil's advocate. We'll sell you on players and what it would cost, just to see how we can do this all the time here.
It'll be like the scene. It'll be like the scene from Step Brothers. How about we interview you?
Yeah. I can I can help with the pan debut. Pan. 2 M's. 2 M's is that's what it is. I think
we're here to fuck.
All right, that is at the 103-minute mark. Put that on there. I think that would just be a very cool experience for us to go down to the Avenir Center one night and give them our plan. Not that we think it would happen, but just to see how close we would actually get to, or if we're even the players that we like that could be added to.
I agree,
to this team. And then Sunday, the Wildcats continued the trend. Vidicek and MacKinnon finally got to win in the Scotiabank Center, as the Wildcats have won 4 of the last 5 in the Scotiabank Center. A little tight in this one. 1-1 to the final 10 minutes, but they got a power play. They took advantage of the opportunity.
4 highlights
in the last 4 goals in the last 10 minutes of that third period. And like you heard me ask Dylan, I think it was partly because he was chucking knuckles. And I said to the wife in our hour-and-a-half wait in the parking lot to get out of the parking aid, I think it was a bad fight for McPhee to take.
Yeah.
Halifax was playing well. They were keeping it close with a tough Moncton team. And I think he was doing this to the crowd to get them up, and I think it kind of worked in the reverse, and it kind of woke Moncton up.
In his defense,
Yeah.
The trade-off, actually, you could make the argument it benefited Halifax.
Right.
But I think I messaged you and I said, geez, dressing 6 defensemen when you have a 7th as a healthy scratch and you only have 11 forwards playing, maybe this is why you dress 7.
Yeah.
But I digress. We didn't come down to that.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Mooseheads DJ for playing our goal song late in the third period, which then resulted in 4 Wildcats goals being scored.
Yeah.
Really appreciate that. You were there. You probably got a better eye on the game.
I was. It was a good time. There's just literally nothing that organization doesn't do well.
Yep.
It was Kids Day there, so their Halifax Minute was a kid. The introductions were done by a kid. The anthem was sung by a kid. The starting lineup was drawings of the players as they introduced them.
So good.
That Moose thing, it's weird. Maybe I expected it to kind of come down a bit more and shoot more smoke out of its nose and be more of a factor. We only got to see it when they scored once. But that in glass lighting, that is absolutely fantastic. They get a video intro before every period with that music. Like I'll put some of it on our Twitter here. It was cool, but it was a game where, in talking to you, it felt like it was going to be a 2-1 overtime L. Like I just didn't feel good about. I know I joked that Vidicek was going to get the goal against Halifax as the game winner. Not quite, but in talking to both Mercier and Vidicek, I thought it felt a little bit closer than it needed to be. They didn't think that way.
Holy crap, there was just an earthquake in Irishtown.
What?
Yeah.
Breaking news.
Multiple reports of a small earthquake of some kind, Irishtown to Shediac.
What?
Oh, shit. That's crazy. Anyways, back to hockey. It felt a lot tighter to fans, and it felt like it was going to go overtime, and Halifax was going to get it. Yeah. Yeah, I messaged you after the second period, and I said, I don't have a very good feeling about this one.
No.
But I was, again, there's going back to the St. John game, the Val-d'Or game, this game. What the hell was the power play doing? Like the power play was invisible. Like there's nothing going on.
No.
But I mean, they got the goal that they needed. Vidicek, like we mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
That goal was, he's scored against every team now in the queue. So
it's pretty cool.
Yeah. You thought it was over with the empty netter, but then 8 seconds later,
Mercier's like, look what I can do.
Fell asleep.
It was a weird one too, because Mercier's first one was a miscue by Rousseau, and then Logan Crosby scored on. He was trying to make a pass, and MacKinnon or Moran tried to block the pass that ended up going off his stick. It was a weird game to start with in that one, and was back and forth. Wildcats still though, when they score first, they are now 11-0. They're one of only 2 teams left that when they score first.
That's
knock
crazy.
on wood, that doesn't affect us. The other one is Sherbrooke, 16 games, 6 goals, 6 wins.
Wow,
they're the only other team that's undefeated when scoring first, and so that brings us into this weekend. You got again a little bit of a weird road trip for the Wildcats. They had 7 of 8 games on the road. Bathurst on Friday. We talked to Louis-William Gagne on Baie-Comeau coming here on Sunday. I guess just what are you looking forward to in this Baie-Comeau one? Aside from
I'm excited to see their team.
Aside from pre-scouting,
I mean, this is a team that again don't know what they're going to do, but they have tons of talent.
Yeah.
And I think this might be a tough game for Moncton. The Drummondville team. We always say, they're a one-line team. Just take care of the first line, and you'll be good. And but you can't really say the same about Baie-Comeau. Like they've
No,
got
they kind of match up top 6 and top 6 well
Yeah.
against Moncton.
Yeah, so I think this game probably comes down to the third and fourth line, and hopefully Gabe Smith and Cooper Cormier are back, so we can add to get those guys back healthy, and because those you could tell they were missed.
Yeah,
it's so you need those guys in the line, and hopefully they're back, and I honestly think this game comes down to who's got the best third and fourth line.
Yeah. And I kind of forgot that Smith and Cormier were out. Good to see Jack Hain playing that Val-d'Or game. And we're seeing a little bit more of the fourth line when they actually have a centerman get some playing time. But yeah, I think I'm the same way with you. Like, we're not really going to preview Bathurst because we know what Bathurst is going to be. But I think this Baie-Comeau game is almost a mirror game in terms of the way these two teams play. Power play is going to be key. Now, the first power play, yes, it's been scoring goals, but it still feels a little bit like they're trying to find 28 on that wing. He's not shooting as much. He is faking and getting it back to Gagne. But I mean, Baie-Comeau right now is taking 11 power plays or 11 penalties per game. So this is a team that you could take advantage of on the power play. And I think we got to get this power play. It's just funny to say we got to get it going. They're 8-1-1 in their last 10 and 13-2, but God, we got to get that power play going at 27%. We got to get both units going. Right now, it feels to me like that second unit with Pekarczyk and Mercier, Morin, they are having a little bit more success. Collard, I think more so because they're kind of moving the puck around. Pekarczyk is always moving, always moving.
Yeah, and you can tell teams are zeroing in on him.
Yeah,
he's still. He's not necessarily putting up the points I was expecting him to put up, but he's still, he's still getting the job done.
Yeah, him and Mercier, they've got quite a nice little connection. Are you ready for everyone's favorite part of the show?
Yes, I am.
All right.
Eric Murray, realtor, buy our house from him. Stick tap of the week.
All right. So as I mentioned earlier, it was my daughter's birthday over the weekend.
Happy birthday, Avery.
So I thought I'd maybe highlight couple businesses or small businesses that made it possible. So first off, the party itself was located at Olympia Cheerleading, which is really cool. They kind of set up like a little obstacle course for all the kids. So they were able to do like jump on a trampoline.
Did you run it?
Yeah. Hello.
How'd you do?
So I can actually do a front flip.
Wow, really?
I didn't know I still had the athleticism from my childhood.
Yeah.
But I was bouncing on a trampoline and I was like, I'm either going to nail this or I'm going to break my neck. So here I am.
You're here.
Jump, front flip, land.
Wow.
Not like gymnastics land, but landed, fell on my knees, and face plant. But
you landed.
I got a front flip and landed without breaking my neck. But no, really cool. It was like and like I said, it was probably the least stressful birthday party.
Yeah.
Because they took care of everything.
Nice.
They set up the table, they set up the obstacle course. All we did really was just show up there, greet the kids, tell the parents, pick them up at 4. We'll look after them.
Yeah.
It was super simple. Cost wise, $275 for 20 kids.
Can't beat it.
And you can bring your own food, bring your own drinks. It was really good. We've had it other places previous years, and it just wasn't as organized. We felt like we had to entertain more at other places, but this place was awesome. Instead of cake, we did cookies. Which is ironic because the woman who did the cookies, her Facebook page is facebook.com/cakelover17. Natalie Charette. She's no longer making cakes. She's only doing cookies.
Nice.
And the cookies, I'm not sure if I can get them on I'll have to send you the picture here.
Mm-hmm.
But pretty nice looking cookies. I'll tell you that.
Send it to me. We'll advertise it on our.
I'll zoom in on the camera. You probably can't see it. Nope, you can't.
We'll share it on our Instagram.
Yeah, but
oh yeah, I saw those. Yeah, those are nice.
Yeah, really nice. Again, I think for 40 cookies, it was $100 maybe. I don't know. I remember there was a $60 deposit and then another $40 cent. So I have to say $100 for 40 cookies. And look, it's cheaper than getting a cake made.
Yeah.
But yeah. So Natalie Charette. And on Facebook, she is Cake Lover 17. However, she no longer makes cakes. So put that out there. There you go. Stick tap of the week to Olympia and lovely lady by the name of Natalie Charette, who makes excellent cookies.
The Stick Tap of the Week, sponsored by Eric Murray Real Estate with the Remax Avante team. If you're looking to buy or sell a home in the greater Moncton or surrounding area, make sure to check him out on social media or give him a call at 506-863-8802.
And that brings us to the Wildcat of the Week, presented by Rosemary, Lynn Massage and Spa. Jeremy, you looking for an extra Christmas gift for your wife? You maybe looking for a nice gift for her for passing her driver's test on Thursday? Well, head down to Rosemary Lynn Massage. They got sea glass pendants for only $15. Yeah. And don't forget, they got a loyalty card as well.
What's a sea glass?
I have no idea, but that's what they have.
Oh.
It's probably something relaxing, I would imagine. They had different colors. It's got to be something relaxing. Nicole's going to listen to this and laugh and be like, you too. Don't forget, they've got the loyalty card by 9 Spa Services. Get one free. Give them a call at 506-830-1224 or stop by 1224 Mountain Road. This one couldn't be any more simpler.
Wild Willie.
Yes. Done. Honorary Wildcast Walkout of the Week to Wild Willie for having to dance through 7 goal songs with Motley Crue. He was the CHL first star on Saturday. He's got 8 goals in his last 5 games, 12 points total. He's confident. He backs it up. He was on the Q team of the week, and now he is the Wildcat player of the week, number 18, Caleb Denway. That'll do it for this show. Again, don't forget that they've got the game this Sunday. It is the Remembrance Day game against Baie-Comeau, so get your tickets. And if you're a Hometown Reward member, check your app. There's a promo code for discounts from now until December 31st. If you're not, become one. You get ticket discounts. The bus trip was sold out. It was loud. They were treated to an excellent game. It looked a lot of fun. So if you saw our social media, if you saw it on the Facebook group, they've got another one coming December 8th. They're about half sold out on that. They will have seats. Section 121, 122, they'll be selling seats until it's sold out for the game in St. John. Again, massive thank you to Dylan MacKinnon, to Lauren of the Wildcats for making that happen, to Louis-William Gagne of Le Journal Le Maniac, covering the Baie-Comeau Drakkar.
This guy.
I practiced, right? You know what I mean? I practiced. For joining us on the show to get you set for the game against Baie-Comeau, as well as give us a little bit of trade insight. And as well, we're on the Go Home Show with Brock Gallant this Wednesday, updating the Wildcats. Again, for Jeremy, I'm Adam. See you next week.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Wildcast podcast. Follow us on social media at Moncton Wildcast.